back to High Point again, a best place where you can find contents related to English language and literature. And today's video is all about Paul Virilio's hypermodernism. So Paul Virilio, he came up with an idea and he actually discusses some ideas related to hypermodernism. So we were looking at many aspects related to postmodern condition, postmodern theories put forward by many people like Lyotard's postmodern conditions, then Baudelaire's hyperreality. Now we will see Paul Virilio's hypermodernism. And like you can have free materials in here in my YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it if you are interested to have contents related to NTA, UGC Net JRF, English language and literature. Okay guys, in my Instagram page too, we are sharing variety of study materials that can help you in your Net JRF preparation. My Instagram ID is right here. You can follow me in Instagram. More than this, if you are seriously looking for some affordable but comprehensible, at the same time simplified study materials for your Net JRF preparation, you can visit my website www.highpoint.in. There we have shared 900 plus audio lectures under 11 topics that you need to cover for your Net JRF exam, Net JRF English language and literature exam. And not only audio lectures but also 300 plus downloadable PDF materials about selected topics from these 11 subjects or modules. And at the same time, more than 3,000 questions in the form of previous and practice question papers for you to attempt live in the website. Okay, if you want to know more about the course, fee structure, offer, bonuses or anything related to that we are sharing in our website, Instagram, WhatsApp or in YouTube, you can message me directly in this number or via my Instagram page too, you can contact me. Now let's move on to the main topic, Paul Virilio's concept of hypermodernism. Now let's have an introduction. Paul Virilio. Who is Paul Virilio? Paul Virilio lived from 1632 to 2000 AD. Very recently he died only. He was a French cultural theorist, urbanist and aesthetic philosopher. So please remember at least this point. He is a French cultural theorist. See, I have seen questions asking about the nationality of a theoretician. So he is a French cultural theorist. He is best known for his writings about technology. So in the postmodern condition, incorporation of technology in production and consumption of cultural things is one of the major point that we have to learn, we have to consider whenever we learn something related to culture. So he is best known, Virilio is best known for his writings about technology. His major influences were Nietzsche, Benjamin, Gilles Deleuze, Baudelaire, Marx, Diderot, Merleau-Ponty. Okay, so these are the major influences that he had while we are studying all these things. The war model, logic of speed, that is the foundation of technological society. So the war model is a concept put forward by Paul Virilio, and he says that this is the logic of speed. See, take any other any other technology that is actually making our life easy. It is based on speed. Okay, take the example of a vehicle that you have. It is for reaching somewhere in a more fast manner. Take the example of your phone. In order to contact without going and actually seeing that person or without writing a letter to that person, it actually reduces more time. It actually reduces your you no need to wait to meet that person or write a letter and reach that letter to that person, but you can simply dial a number and reach that person if that person also has a mobile phone. So it's also every other technology that we can see in postmodern times, it is based on, they are all based on logic of speed. The integral accident, another concept by Virilio is integral accident. Technology cannot exist without the potential for accident. So this means that, see, all these things we will discuss elaborately later when we discuss about his concept of hypermodernity, that he says that integral accident, see, every other technology will bring more potential for accident. Without this potential of accident, technology cannot exist. Take your example, take the example of vehicle. There is a potential threat of accident whenever you take that vehicle. Okay, take the example of your phone. Since our phone is connected to net and to various apps, it is very easy for a third party to access your data. So there is an integral accident that is existing in technology, and without that integral potential accident, that is the technology cannot exist. Then another term that he introduces is the dromology. So dromology is all about science of speed, the logic of speed. The administration of fear. Another concept by him is the administration of fear, that which governs the contemporary life. Wherever you go, you will see warnings. If you go to a mall, then you can see that you should not stand here, you should not go like that, you keep this side. So this way, every other contemporary life situation, you will find this fear. So that is an integral part, and it is the governing element of the contemporary life, the administration of fear. Next. Now let's see some points related to Virilio's hypermodernism. So just now whatever we have discussed, he elaborates in here. Virilio argues that histories of socio-political institutions such as the military or even cultural movements demonstrate a need for speed rather than commerce. So just now we discussed that what is the importance of speed in postmodern conditions. So in histories of socio-political institutions, as such as military or even cultural movements, so military or government, all these things are socio-political institutions, right? So if you could see history, or even if you see the history of culture, or even if you see the history of cultural movements, you can see that how they are emphasizing more importance to or more need of speed rather than commerce. He argues that politics relationship with speed is as important as its relationship with the accumulation of wealth. So politics is related to kind of accumulation of wealth. Politics do not think about the politics that we have nowadays, but politics in an elaborate and more kind of a word that is in a more inclusive way. You have to remember, you have to understand that way, that politics as a thing which everyone want some sort of wealth. So everything, politics is also based on wealth. Every other relationship is based on wealth only. So this relationship with accumulation of wealth is there in politics. At the same time, it has a relationship with speed, and its relationship with speed is as important as its relationship with the accumulation of wealth. Higher speed belongs to the upper reaches of society and the slower ones to the bottom. So how in what speed, if you can accumulate wealth in a fast manner, in a speedy manner, then you will be at the high upper reach of the society. If you are slower in accumulating wealth, then you will be at the bottom. See, these people who all are there in the upper class, they are master of trade. They know how to do their business, and while they are sleeping also they'll accumulate wealth. So because their business is working in a fast manner, so these upper reaches, those who are occupying, they have a speed in accumulating their wealth, while the one who all are there in the bottom section of the society, they are slower in earning money. Their speed is very less comparing to the upper reaches as far as accumulating wealth. The world is increasingly governed by speed of transmission of information, money transfer, arming of nations, and transportation. The world is increasingly governed by speed. See, especially in the postmodern times, because of the invention of all these technologies, you can see that the world is increasingly governed by speed. All the technologies are working based on the logic of speed, because in transformation of information, money transfer, arming of nations, transportation, every other way, transmission of information, and in every other in every other sphere you can see that it is largely governed by speed. So the importance of speed even in accumulation of wealth, that Virilio is trying to stress here. Now, for Virilio, the concept of pure war is actually the weaponry of new information and communication technology, because it is the weapons of the military industrial complex that cause integral accident such as the 1987 world stock market crash brought on by the failure of automated program trading. So in 1987 stock market got crashed, and that happened because of the failure of automated program trading. Okay, see how this technology is actually bringing about many catastrophe, just like a military attack. So Virilio has this concept of pure war is actually he is actually the weaponry of new information and communication technology. So the war that we can see in the postmodern condition or postmodern time, in this hyper real situation or in this hyper modern situation, we can see that mainly the weaponry of new war that is happening nowadays is of information and communication technology, because these are the weapons of military industrial complex. So everywhere, every other socio-economic political institution works, whether it is industries, whether it is government, whether it is military, everything is working because of this information communication technology. Okay, so take the example of our Aadhaar. We are actually giving our biometrical things and all, every other details they have with them, and they can actually any moment they can use and access our things. Do you have any idea about that? You know, even though they are saying that all these things are protected and all, but still the data that we are given, the information that we are given to them, the authorities, how far you know that they are safe? It's never safe when someone else has your information. They can always access. That means they are more powerful with the information. So all this post-hyper modern or post-modern weaponry that he considered as pure, that he considered needed for pure war, is based on either information and communication. Hypermodern vision and the hypermodern city are both products military power and time-based cinematic technologies of disappearance. So you can see that hypermodern vision and the hypermodern city are both products of military power. See, if something is happening, so immediately it will appear. It will, you will have a show in the TV. Okay, so some earthquake happened. So you'll see the vision, see the the visuals from that place again and again. So it's a kind of time-based cinematic technologies of appearance, and these are hypermodern vision and hypermodern city. These are the products of military power and time-based cinematic technologies of disappearance. Discontinuous and interrupted images rule our visual lives. So disrupted and discontinuous means what? There, it's not that we don't know whether this is correct or not, whether this is true whatever we are seeing, but still whatever we are seeing, we are actually believing in it. And so he says that discontinuous and interrupted images rule our life. We get literally only a bit of time, but we compose the whole out of this disappeared bit. See, I'll tell you an example. Take the example of some catastrophes, natural catastrophes happened. So my army will be there in order to have the rescue missions and all. You will see the same footages again and again. So we are actually getting a bit of time, some seconds, some minutes, that much only we are getting. Actually we don't know what is happening there. So whatever these people are showing in bit of times, you are getting it. So we actually composing the whole other meanings, the whole thing related to this out of these disappeared bits. Military technologies and the technocratic system controls every aspect of our life. See, military technology, it doesn't simply means that the technology is used by the military, but basically information and communication technology That is basically military in the sense that they actually rule over our life. So these military technologies and the technocratic system, so the system that is based on technology that actually controls every other aspect of our life. See, if you want to know, by seeing some advertisement, you purchase something. If you are seeing a news, you believe that. If even not only even in TV, but in your phone, whatever bullshit you are seeing, sometimes you believe that. You will never question if some people, if someone is abusing someone, then maybe you won't use even your logic system, even your rationality, but you will get confused. You will get convinced by that person's words. So every aspect of our life, take any aspects of your life, this technocratic system is actually controlling our life. The faith in nuclear deterrence, submission to a system of mass destruction, and societies preparing for the perpetuous possibility of war are all aspects of Virilio's pure war. See, sometimes we are very proud that we have we have developed some sort of nuclear weapons and all. We are very ready to submit to that system of mass destruction, but actually what we are doing actually some anti-humanistic things when we develop some bombs or nuclear power weapons and all. So all these kind of change in attitude that happened in the mindset of societies is actually we always think why we are creating nuclear bombs, because we expect a war at any time. Even though we don't have any potential threat now, we in advance we create many things. All these human things we are creating, destructive things we are creating, and we are submitting to that system of mass destruction. And society, they are always preparing for a perpetual possibility of war. We never believe in human things, and humanities we are not believing, and we are preparing for the potential possibility of war. And the government and the military will always make you believe that, see, we have to do all these things in order to protect our country. But inside the country, even maybe war may never happen, but even if war happens or not, there will be poor people who are actually starving. So this is the main aspect of the pure war. Virilio's aspect of pure war, that there is societies are preparing for the perpetual possibility of a war by creating mass destructive things, mass destructive weapons, and people will be convinced to submit to that system of mass destruction. Okay, the next thing that he says about speed and technology. Okay, speed and technology replace democratic participation and determine politics. See, speed and technology, these two things are pervading everywhere. They are actually, we can see it is quite conspicuous everywhere in every other thing that we are doing in this postmodern condition. Speed and technology replace democratic participation and undermine politics, because politics even work using technology and its aspect of speed. Effective media politics diminishes the space of democratic political participation. See, we are seeing something in media and we are actually believing it. We tend to believe that. So that actually reduces the value of democratic political participation. That reduces the amount of democratic political participation. We are not thinking anything. Spontaneous communication actually reduces the time for detailed discussions. See, since we can send a message to someone without even calling, without even actually knowing that person, so that's spontaneous communication. See, if you are writing a letter, you will write something very detailed, or if you are actually going to that person, then you will actually listen to that person in a very detailed manner. So the spontaneous communication that you can do with your gadgets, with your phone, using internet and all actually decreased the time for detailed discussion, deliberations and consensus building. So the next aspect that Virilio says, that Virilio suggests that there has been, with the contemporary technology, the replacement of local time with the single global time. So local time is no more relevant. See, it is relevant for us because we have to wake up in the morning and do our chores and works and do every other responsibilities and duties, but that's not the time that I am discussing. But Villiers suggests that the contemporary technology actually replaced the local time with a single global time. That doesn't mean that day and night is not there, but you know, whatever you could do during the night, you can do that in the day, and whatever you could do during the daytime, you can actually do that in the night time. There is no demarcation between them. And if you want to talk to someone that is outside in the other side of the globe, you can communicate, you can actually send some messages if you want to, because of this technology, contemporary technology. This local time actually replaced with the global times. Virilio argues that time has telescoped, where every city will be in the same place in time, cities that have telescoped in time. So he says that time has telescoped. Because of this effect, every city will be in the same place in time, cities that have telescoped in time. That is, geographical distances become irrelevant. See, I have seen in some apps, if you want to study English, you can get foreigners, native speakers to speak and all. So they are available. Whenever time that is they are available. So these geographical distances, because of this speed and technology, the geographical distances actually became irrelevant. So that's how time actually telescoped these cities and bring them together. Virilio says that the new world order is a manifestation of what he terms, so he brings about a term known as globalitarianism. So this replacement of this collapse of distance between geographical distance and all in this post-modern time, post-hypermodern times. In this hypermodern times, he terms it as globalitarianism. It actually brought this entire world into a single market, the convergence of time towards a single time. So the convergence, the fusing of different types of local and global time, that convergence. So by this term, he actually denotes the convergence of time towards a single time. The telecommunications conglomerate and cyberspace and also the cyberspace all suggested totalitarianism. So here also we can see, in order to happen this convergence of time towards a single time, telecommunication actually, and also cyberspace, all these things are, and every other technology that we are using now actually contributed to it. So where totalitarianism was once localized and singular, see, totalitarianism means, see, when already totalitarianism happened, localized and singular, with the advent of globalization. Because of globalization, many things got localized, and the local and the global thing got singular, they got fused. But upon that totalitarianism, because of this convergence of time towards a single time, again another totalitarianism happened. That's why, because of this telecommunication conglomerate and cyberspace and all, this brought about this suggested totalitarianism. So because of this totalitarianism, you can be under surveillance anywhere. See, don't you think that since we are using if you are using Google Pay, you have your bank account details there, you are using PIN, you are doing every other economic transactions there through that app. So don't you think that you are under surveillance? Your economic transactions are under surveillance. Every other thing that you are putting inside that inside that account, don't you think that that is accessible to the people who are actually controlling that app? Don't you think that because you have inserted this app into your mobile phone, and this app can access to other things, that other things that are there in the phone, so it can be possible, right? But still it provides some sort of protection, some sort of a surety of safety and all, but still it is possible, right? And take the example of mails, take the example of WhatsApp. Do you think that WhatsApp messages nobody can see? Actually everybody can see who actually really into it. It is not at all a very safe place to have. So it's like, we are, because of this effect of hypermodernism, we are constantly under surveillance everywhere and anywhere. Okay, so these are some of the major ideas that I would like to share about hypermodernism, a concept by Virilio. Now let's have the conclusion. Postmodernism rejects any totality of knowledge, ideology or philosophies. So postmodernism, like we have seen in the earlier videos, postmodernism actually rejects any kind of totality, universality and universal applicability of any kind of knowledge, ideology or philosophy. It believes in the contingency of values and the very local nature of truth. So contingency of values means that you can see everywhere, it is not, the values and the truth is not located in one space, in one theory, in one knowledge or in one ideology or philosophy, but it is located in many places. And truth is very local in nature, because for truth, for everyone, truth will be different. It collapses the boundaries between high or low mass culture. See, I am not going to discuss this in elaborate manner, because you can refer to the previous videos, especially refer to Lyotard's postmodern condition. In that video we have elaborately discussed about this features of postmodernism. It is self-reflexive, refer to itself, parodies itself self-consciously. See, postmodernism is self-reflexive. It thinks about itself. So self-reflexive means thinking about oneself, and it parodies itself self-consciously. In the contemporary world, the distinction between original and copy, reality and illusion break down. So this is where hyperreality comes. Since we can produce immense amount of n number of copies of original things, the distinction between original and copy or illusion and reality break down. The postmodern art and subculture deliberately evoke older forms to parody and subvert the hierarchy of elite or mass cultures. How they are subverting the hierarchy of elite or mass culture? Through postmodern art and subculture, deliberately, knowingly, consciously, they are evoking older forms to parody them, and they are subverting it, subverting the hierarchy of elite or mass culture. It believes that with the advent of more technology and media, our lives are under constant surveillance. So the constant surveillance, that capability of technology is highlighted by Virilio, and he says that because of this advent of more technology and media, speed is emphasized here. At the same time, we are living in a condition of fear everywhere, where warnings will be visible everywhere, and our lives are under constant surveillance. So that's all about Virilio's hypermodernism. I know this is a bit difficult for you to understand, at least for some students. If you have any doubts, you can ask them in the comment section. If I go on discussing about it, this is not going to be stop anywhere. You can visit my website in order to have more detailed analysis of these concepts by various, you can have various concepts related to postmodernism. And if you have any doubts, suggestions, queries, and along with your suggestions, queries and doubts, please also mention major takeaways that you had from this video. Meet you in the next video session. Until then, stay tuned to High Point. Ta-ta.